Alright, so I'm hearing you had to leave a lot of people alone because you realized that they was on demon time. Once you really noticed it, you said, no, that's not my people. You know? It's not my people. And I don't feel like you was playing about it. I feel like you were serious. Like, I heard I couldn't be more serious. I couldn't be more serious. That's what I just heard. I couldn't be more serious. There's people that you just cut off because you already know what it is. You already know what they were going to try to push onto you. That energy is not to be ignored. Like, you know, I don't think people sometimes don't think about how someone else's life can affect yours. And I think you started to recognize things from that perspective, and it made you move different. Because if you know somebody's moving in such a way where they're going to get caught up, it's like you started looking at the situation like, why would I stick around this person if that's how they're moving? Because I don't move like that. So if I stay with this person, I can get unintentionally woven into their ways and into their karma. Like, literally, we as a people, if we choose to stick around those who are not living right and choosing not to live right, meanwhile you're working towards living right or living right in that moment, in life, those phases are the most pivotal times to make the best decision for yourself. Because if you don't, you can end up in a space that you were never meant to actually be in. It's just the decision that you made led you to a place that wasn't even destined for you, really. It's like, yeah, quantum thinking, it's one of the possibilities, but that's a possibility that you could have destroyed, or that you could destroy. It's making me think about The Butterfly Effect, that movie. The ending of that movie was sad because it was like, wow. I don't want to say it, but me and my daughter watched that movie and she was like so sad for him. Like, oh no. But it was sad. It really was. And then it makes me wonder, like, is that why when you're around certain people, they seem like they have bad juju on them? And I'm not going to say, like, the result of the movie, but because I don't want to spoil it for you just in case you watch it. But then seeing the ending and the deeper meaning within the film, it was like, that was like a really sad truth. Trying to change something that he couldn't. Instead of changing it, he just made it worse. And that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to spoil it. But that's what this makes me think about. Because sometimes you'll meet a person and nothing is ever going good. Things just, every time you see him, something gets worse. Every time. So it's like you have to make the decision to say, I'm not going to spend my time with somebody like that. Because it's easy to see that around this person I cannot be at ease. Like, you can't be at ease. You always have to be at attention. I mean, it's good to always be at attention though, still. Like, you know, but at the same time, you want to be able to relax. If you're around someone that makes you feel like you have to be on alert in such a way, even though I still feel that we should always be on alert. Like, when you're walking, you should always look around you, behind you. You should, but not in a way of nervousness. It's just a way of being aware of your surroundings. But when you choose not to do that, and you kind of just go with the flow of someone who doesn't do right, and they're always doing something that's a little off, and you question it, and you're like, well, why would you do that? And then you choose to be around them. Be prepared to get woven into their karmic cycles, because that's what happens. When you're around people, you get exposed to those that they know, things that they do, and circumstances that they actually create. And they could have that stuff could have or usually does, because you're not into that lifestyle. Those things that they have as their circumstance has nothing to do with you, but by association, you become an accomplice to their karma. Don't do that. Don't be an accomplice to the karma, because it's not even yours to serve. And this is one of those reasons why it's smart to stay away from those who are not in alignment with you or God. Because if you're in alignment with God and you have people around you that are on demon time, how is that supposed to work well? That doesn't go together. It's like oil and water. It does not mix. So don't try to make it mix. It won't. It doesn't. It doesn't mix. You could stir forever, and that oil and water is going to remain separated. Okay? So just keep this in mind, you know, because it's one of those things that when you, maybe me telling you this in such a way will help you to see why. Because sometimes we can have relationships with people and just think about all the good, and that's a nice thing to do because it shows that you're a positive person. But don't be so positive that you're not looking at the truth. Still look at what you see. Still look at the whole of it. Don't just focus on the good times with the person and just allow that to keep you tethered to a person when you know they be wildin'. If you know that and you know the possibilities of what could happen, you want to use your intellect when you move forward. Like, I see how that person move, I'm not rocking with them. It's so simple. But sometimes we make it difficult for various reasons. Maybe you just, feel bad for the person. If you feel for a person and you're empathetic towards their circumstance, the best you could do is ask them if they would like you to give them some advice. You know, you could ask. If they don't want to hear it, they don't want to hear it. But if you feel that bad, you could be like, would you mind if I give you some advice? Or if you don't want to hear it, then it's cool. Because some people like, they're not interested. They want to do what they want to do. And if that's the case, it makes sense to ask. Just because not everybody wants to hear it and not everybody cares about learning and growth and trying to change their life. Some people don't care. They want to do what they want to do. So it will be a waste of your energy to try to show someone a different way if they're going to reject it anyway. So it doesn't make sense to kind of like be pushy and try to force someone to take on your perspective of their circumstances or choices that they make, because everyone has their own will and they do what they choose with it. But if you're feeling bad and you just like, can I show you something? And what if you did it like this? You think that's something that could work for you? It doesn't have to be pushy. It could just be like, look at this. Does that work for you? If it doesn't, that's fine. You know? And that's just coming from a place of love. That's not coming from a place of, I'm better than you. Listen to me. You know, it's not. Because people, regardless of how you look at it, I think, because we could come from a good place wanting to help people and wanting to show people a different way that clearly they don't see, because they're choosing the worst possible way for themselves, or one of the worst possible routes that they could take. But it's not up to us to try to force a person to do something. Look, here is the information. Use it if you find that it works for you or that it could be helpful for you. One can truly stress themselves out trying so hard to call themselves changing somebody. You can't change nobody. We can't do that. Regardless of how we would just like to blink and the whole world is just like walking on sunshine, right? But it's not, that's not what it is. Everyone has their own will. And also, you know, you make sure that you're not coerced by a person like this either, because it could go the other way around. And usually individuals who are on that type of time, you know, those are the ones that will make you feel bad for not doing what they do. They'll make you like, oh, you scared. Oh, you whack. Oh, they got all the O's for you. But it's up to you to say, no, that's just not for me. You do what you do, I do what I do. But you can't tell me what to do. It's like, do I tell you what to do? No, so don't come over here trying to tell me. But the only thing is, like, if you have a good person in your life and they trying to tell you something, it makes sense to listen, because good people tell you good stuff. Okay, so you don't want to be like on the straight thought process for everybody, because everybody's not the same. So some people will tell you things that are going to improve your life in some way, and then you have the ones that are on demon time that just want you to be mischievous as they are, in such a way where you're going to reap their karma if you stick around them for too long. I mean, you could end up in a space that you never were actually meant to be, you know, because the Creator wants the best outcome for us in all of these, I heard quantum selection. Quantum selection. We have selections. Imagine if we had like a holographic, digitized design in front of us, like how you see in the movies, in those space movies. And then you're like, I think they probably have that now, but I don't know, it makes me want to look it up. Where it's just a screen that's there but not there, and you're just like do. And then you see all of the options that you have in your life, like a menu. And you're like, do I want that life, that life, that life, that life? Which one do I want? Let me just choose that one. Quantum selection. We could put that whole image in our minds though, and then literally we could do that. We have the power to do that. So just remove anybody that's on demon time, so that you don't get wrapped up into somebody else's karmic cycle. I don't think that's a selection you want. Alright? It's just not worth it. That's not living. That turns into survival. And remember, we want to live. We want life, not death. Okay? Okay. Everything you do, do it with love. Always remember the Creator is in you and the magic is too, because you're magic. Much love to you. I'll see you in the next video.